objective questions. Now these objective questions are you directly get them in the exam. Okay, so without wasting the time, let's start. So always I start with with a motivational quote, always. And also I would suggest you also always start with positive things. Okay, so change begins at the end of your comfort zone. Means what? Means whenever you come out of your comfort zone, only then you start changing, you start developing. Okay, so always try to leave your comfort zone, stretch your strength, stretch your penance as much as possible. Okay, download Adda 24/7 app on your mobile. Now in this app you will get all the study material, various updates, various video lectures, live classes directly on this app. Okay, and also remember, share it with your friends, share it on your social media as much as possible. Let everyone benefit. We are starting a new batch of BFM, ABM and retail targeting June 22 exam. Now the batch is starting from March 28th, 6 am to 8 am. Now remember, this 6 am to 8 am timing is kept specifically because so that your bank timings don't get disturbed. Okay, so 6 to 8 and March 28, it will go up to June 22. Okay, now we are also having the JAIIB batch. Tell your friends who are appearing for JAIIB, legal, accounts and PPB starting from March 7th. Okay, 6 am to 10:30. So again targeting May 22. Okay, so we are having flat 22% offer on all the test series, ebooks and basically test series and ebooks. Okay, and 77% offer on the classes. Remember this, 77% means it's not a small amount. Use this code Y432. Oh, even here if you want to purchase the test series, ebooks and books, study material, use this code. You will get flat 22% off, and in classes you will get flat 77% off. So join these classes as fast as possible. Grab this discount now only, because many times it doesn't remain for longer time, right? Okay, so let's start with today's topic. Today's topic is microeconomics. Means basically few topics about fundamentals of economics. Here the title name is always over here. Okay, so microeconomics. Microeconomics is a study of economic behavior of individual units. Now understand the difference between micro and macro. Okay, micro relates to individual items. Okay, individual things, and macro relates to gross level, bigger level. Okay, so microeconomics studies the economic behavior of individual economic units. Now individual economic units means what? Here unit can be anything. It can be a single individual, it can be a family, it can be a area, city, it can be a state, it can be a country, right? So with whom you are comparing, that's important. Okay, so it studies the economic behavior of individual economic units. Then the study of economic behavior of households, firms, industries from the subject matter of forms the subject matter of microeconomics. Here, that's why I told you what you are comparing is important. Household, firms, industries. So everything, all these three things will be considered under microeconomics. Even I would consider, if you compare the economy of the world with the economy of an individual country, then the smaller unit or the country becomes the part of micro, and the whole world economy becomes macro. So it's a comparison which we are making that makes the real sense. Okay, it examines whether resources are efficiently allocated and spells out the conditions for optimal allocation of resources so as to maximize the output and social welfare. Now understand the basic meaning in these words. See here, efficiently allocated and optimal allocation. What is the difference between efficient and optimal? See here, efficient means to maximum percentage. How is efficiency calculated? Efficiency is always calculated what can be given and what is given. So maximum percentage, if it is attained, then it's called as efficient. But what do you mean by optimal? Optimal is different, and economics says that optimal is important than efficient. Why? Because getting 80% by a single student or getting 80% in single subject and failing in other subjects is not right. So optimal means you'll get 60% in each subject, but then also it's okay, because getting 80 in one and failing in remaining is not right. So efficiency can be limited to single topic or single element, but optimal means all the elements are given not equal, but the weightage or substantial outlook or substantial heed, substantial looking at, or you can say when you look at the substantially or give a optimal, or basically you give a right kind of approach towards all the subjects. Okay, so optimal means that. So optimal allocation of resources so as to maximize the output and social welfare. So importantly understand this thing, output and social welfare means what? See here, what is the basic use, or why does a society exists in this world? Basically society means all the cultures, everything. Why do they exist? For basically these two things only, output and social welfare. So every society works for social welfare, and output is a part of that social welfare. Okay, so all the economics, every study of economics will always try to get maximum output and go towards social welfare. Okay, so that's why understand what microeconomics means. It studies the individual behaviors, individual units, and these individual units try to produce the maximum output and give most social welfare. Okay, for example, microeconomics is concerned with how individual distributes his income. Okay, basically his income or his resources. That's the basic meaning of micro. Now macroeconomic deals with the functioning of the economy as a whole. Now it deals with economy as a whole. Understand this concept. Now when I say macro and economy as a whole, it means what? Suppose if I am considering a country in macroeconomics, it means for micro I will be considering what? Either the state or either the city or a smaller unit, right? So understand the concept is always relative. When I consider the country as a whole under macro, then under macro it will be a state or something. But if I consider the country as a whole under micro, then the macro will be something bigger, that continent or the world economics, like that it will be. Okay, so macro deals with the economy as a whole, full overall economy of the country or of the world. For example, macroeconomics seeks to explain how economy's total output of goods and services and total employment of resources are determined, and what explains the fluctuation in the level of output and employment. Okay, understand this properly. Macroeconomics basically deals with theories, all the theories means which are related to macro. Understand, the theories are first developed under macroeconomics and then they are transferred to micro units. Okay, so macro seeks to explain what? How economy's total output. Now this economy will be of country, of world, of continent, anything. Okay, total output of goods and services. Here earlier it used to be only goods, but services have formed a major part in any economy, basically in Indian economy, right? So presently what? Roughly 55 to 60% of the GDP is covered under services now, right? So services have formed a major portion, or they have given a major strength to the overall economy and the GDP. Okay, and total employment of the resources are determined, and what explain? Okay, what do you mean by this? Total employment of the resources. What do you mean by this? Don't take this word employment just for the job purpose. No. Total employment of the resources means what? Whatever resources the country is having. Now, what do you mean by resources country is having? See here, it can be like this. Resources means like in India. What are the resources in India? Firstly, sunlight. Huge sunlight. Rains. Good rains for 4 to 5 months. Okay, rains. Then winter, okay. Summer also not that much. So these are all the natural resources which are available in India. Okay, now we have come to this, we have seen this as natural resources. What about the physical resources or manual resources? Here, India's population is huge, firstly, and importantly, majority of the population lies under 35 years of age. Okay, so what does it mean? We again have a human resource, full strength of human resource. So total employment of the human resources. Employment means not job. Employment of human resource of resources means total deployment. I can call it deployment. Okay, means so that every unit of the economy or the of the input gets utilized. There is no wastage, right? Okay. So total employment of the resources are determined. So it means that what can you say? Presently, are we utilizing the full resources in India? No. Why? Firstly, sunlight. Do you utilize the full sunlight? Does every unit or household generate electricity for themselves? No. We are still dependent on the grid, right? So the day when we utilize the full sunlight and generate our own electricity within the house, and that is required for the house, so that will be called as total employment. Now this example I am taking only of sunlight. Some places will have wind energy, some places will have some other type of energy, right? So this is called as employment. Similarly for human resources also. In human resources, do we have the potential, do we utilize all the human resources in India? No. So how can you utilize the total, how can we do the total employment of human resource? Firstly, education. So education needs to be given in the right direction. See here, education need not be related to only degrees. Getting only degrees is not an education. Education should be such that the guy or the person who is getting educated should be able to earn his livelihood by himself. That is basically education. Okay, so that is why did I elaborate so much on this? Because what happens when we use this word employment, we always come to the same logic: job, getting the job, government job, private job. No, it's not that. Employment means utilization of the resources, okay, are determined, and what explains the fluctuation in the level of the output. So once you deploy or utilize full resources, then definitely the output will be much bigger, much in many folds. Okay, and once the output is in many folds, then we come to employment. Now this employment means what? This employment means actual jobs. So basically what are we saying? If we utilize full human natural resources and human resources, then we can give the maximum jobs. Okay, so that is what macroeconomics deals with. Okay, now central problems of all economies. Every economy deals with basically three problems. Every, let it be this India, let it be USA, let it be Germany, let it be any country. Okay, it always deals with three problems. Okay, in case of any economy, whatever the economy required cannot be satisfied fully. Means let it be India, let it be USA, let it be any country, you will always find poor people in every country, rich people in every country. Why? If they are so much developed, or the developed economies are so much developed, why do we find poor? Because it always happens, whatever be the stage of that economy, always remember, none means full population or full populace, we call it actually. Full population will not be satisfied fully in any economy. Okay, economic resources or means of production are limited, and they can be put to alternative uses. Correct? Means it's like this: if you are having a salary of say 50,000, then you can use that 50,000 to various alternative uses. Means like I can go for a holiday, right? Or I can pay my child's this education fees, right? Or I can buy a new car, right? With EMI basically. Of course, within 50,000 nothing comes. So with EMI. So what am I doing? I am putting my money which I am having for alternative uses. Why? Because here my wants basically, wants means life is always a struggle between needs and wants. Okay, needs is what I need for my existence, and wants means what I want, what I require. So my human beings wishes are huge. I want a car, I want to go for a holiday, I want to have daily cinema in the malls, right? So it means that wants are never ending. Now if wants are never ending, then resources will always be limited. So those resources I must be using it judicially and rationally. That is important word. Okay. So every economy faces some common problems. So which are the problems here? What to produce, how to produce, and from whom to produce. Okay. We'll see one by one. What to produce? Okay. A country cannot produce all the goods because it has limited resources. Do you say India should produce oil also? India should produce vegetables also. India should produce all gold, gems, right? Or diamonds also. No. What happens? Oil is produced in Middle East countries. Diamonds are found in South African countries, right? And India produces vegetables and other natural products. Why? Because the geographical situation in India, in Africa, and in desert areas are different. So what a country will do, country cannot produce all the goods and services, basically goods, right? So what it should make, it should always make a choice between different goods and services. Whatever it can produce efficiently. Now when I say efficiently, what do I mean? Efficiently means with the least resources possible. That only it should produce. And remaining things it should import. And whatever it produces efficiently in the country, that will be produced to such a large extent that it can be exported. Okay. So every economy has to decide what goods and services should be produced. Got it? Now how? As an economy decides to produce certain goods, it faces the problem to decide how these goods will be produced. Of course, if I say I'll make the production in India of vegetables or natural resources or all the vegetable or natural food related items, because we are having ample of sunlight and rain, right? So I'll have to decide how to make it. Now how to make it means what? If I try to make some food products and try to export them, I'll need warehouses, because those would be the logistical problems to me, right? So this is the meaning of how to produce. I'll be needing the huge machinery for that whenever I have to make some large scale production. So this is what how to do it. Okay. The problem arises because of unavailability of some resources, of course, right? Because technologically we still have to import certain things, certain machineries from other countries. Similarly, mobiles. See here, what do you see in mobiles? Mobiles, the chips are still imported from various countries, mainly China. So we have to be self-reliant in this, right? So it also involves the choice of technique of production. So what do you mean by this technique of production here? If I'm making something in India at a cost of, let's say, 100 rupees, but the same product, the same thing is made in some other country for, let's say, 50 rupees. So what makes sense? Does it make sense that I'll produce it for 100 rupees? If my cost is 100, I'll definitely sell it at a higher price. And the cost of the other guy is 50, so definitely he'll sell it at a lower price. So what makes sense? It makes sense to stop the production at 100 or basically let's see one by one case. Stop the production at 100 and import the products at 50, right? But do we mean to say that if we stop, then we won't be self-reliant? So we have to bring that technology at which that other guy is making it for 50 and then start the production over here also for 50, right? That's called as Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, right? A country may produce by labor intensive methods or by capital intensive methods. Okay. What in the labor? See here, India is a huge population country. So labor intensive methods are best for India. But if you use more labor intensive products than methods, then what happens? In that case, the cost increases. If you use capital intensive methods, means machineries basically, the cost reduces, but the hands will lose the job. So we have to strike the balance between these two. Okay. We should never go to understand the economy part of that, right? That command economy and capitalist economy. If I go for totally command economy, it's wrong. If I go to totally capitalist economy, that is also wrong. So I have to go for a mixed economy, right? India is a mixed economy basically. So by capital intensive methods of production, depending upon its stock or manpower, right? For whom to produce? Goods and services are produced for people who have means to pay for them. Means when I produce something, whenever a company produces something, it will definitely try to sell to those persons only who can pay for them. or it will try to adjust its cost so that people should be able to pay for them, right? A country may produce mass consumption goods at a large scale, or goods for upper class, means either of these two. Yeah, in fact, the word for country over here should get replaced by company, right? Because country has to produce for large scale also, okay? Because they basically it has to look at large scale only population. Company can look at these two populations separately, large scale and upper class, right? Upper classes, this is the wrong word actually. Upper class, no. It should be the higher income group. Classes, if you create the discrimination, classes, that is wrong word, okay? So, all it depends upon the policies of the government as well as in the private producing unit, right? Means how the government supports through its policies. Only based on that, the country will grow or the companies will grow, right? Okay, now we'll go to objective questions. Objective questions, we are having 6 to 7 objective questions. I think so 6, okay? Question number 1. Adam Smith defined economics as, okay, what are the options? What did Adam Smith say? Wealth of economy. That is his book's name is Wealth of Nations, right? So look at the word wealth. Study of wealth. So Adam Smith defined economics as study of wealth. Say this. Study of wealth is the answer. Okay. Next. Question 2. Macroeconomics deals with. Okay. The choices are GDP, unemployment rate, price indices, all of the above. Think over it. I'll give you 10 seconds. GDP, unemployment rate, price indices, and all of the above. What say? Okay, I'll give you the answer. All of the above, right? Because macro means what? Considering the whole economy as such. Okay, means country. Unemployment rate, it relates to country. Price indices, it relates to country, right? That's why macroeconomics deals with all of the above. Who is considered as a founder of microeconomics? Now this is a bit confusing question, but answer is very simple. Microeconomics, many of the books or many of the economists say that Alfred Marshall, they give the name, but correct answer is different. Always remember, microeconomics was founded by Adam Smith. Okay, so Adam Smith is the founder of microeconomics. Okay. Amartya Sen is an Indian economist. He is still means he is from India only. So microeconomics was founded years back. Okay. Microeconomics is concerned with the behavior of. So micro is concerned with behavior of what? Okay, let's see the choices. GDP, individual entities, economy as a whole, none of the above. Think. I'll give you again 10 seconds. Okay. GDP, individual entities, economy as a whole, none of the above. Okay. I'll give you the answer now. Individual units. Because microeconomics, it always deals with individual entities only. Okay. Next. Ends refer to. Now what do you mean by this ends? See here, in economics always, there is a fight between what I said. The fight is between needs and wants, right? Needs and wants. So needs means what? What is required for my existence, means without which I can't live. But if I have that, I can definitely live, and that also prosperous life, good life. Okay. So that is means. So what is ends? Ends means basically wants. Remember, ends means where my funds are getting utilized. And if I go by my wishes only, then my funds will never be complete for me. I'll never be satisfied with whatever I'm getting. But if I live on my needs, then I'll always be a satisfied person. Okay. So ends refer to wants. Okay. A market economy is the one. Now what is the market economy? Firstly, in which individuals and private firms make the major decisions about the production and consumption. Means individuals and private firms are making the decision. Second, in which the government makes all the important decisions about the production and distribution. Means government makes the decision. 3 is both 1 and 2. And then none of the above. So See here, in JIB you might have got with the habit of, when you have this option both 1 and 2, always tick that, because that's generally I've seen in JIB students. But in CIB, remember, things are different. The exam questions will always try to trick you. Okay, so market, if you know the answer, only then you will be give the correct answer. Otherwise, if you are just going by these thumb rules of JIB, all of the above, always tick one of all of the above in JIB, means that's the thumb rule we follow in JIB, but that's wrong. Okay, if you don't have knowledge either in JIB or in CIB, either I'll give you in both the cases, you can't clear the exams. It's very simple. Okay, so market economy is the one in which market, we had studied two types of economies, right? Basically two. We had studied more than two actually. So two types of economies, command and market, right? So market was private companies did deal with everything, right? All the decisions. And command was government deals with. So the answer will be what? Definitely one. In which individuals and private firms make the major decisions about production and consumption. So what is the two? Two is a command economy. Government makes all the important decisions. And what is three then? Three is mixed economy, in which private firms and governments together make the decisions, right? So this was the part. These were the objective questions which I wanted to clarify to you. Also, hope so the theory which we took might be of use to you. So remember, we are starting with this new batch. Again, I am telling you, from March 28th 2022, targeting June 22 batch, right? 22 exam. The timings are adjusted to 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. so that you can definitely attend your bank also, and then you can attend your classes also. Okay, all the 6 a.m. means start your day with best thing in the world, right? That is education. And this education is for what? It's not just studying. Basically, 2 increments are involved in CIB. 2 increments is a huge amount, right, for the lifetime. So this batch will be covering BFM, ABM and retail. It will be covering all the objective questions, all the case studies, all the numericals, all the theories. Okay, because we have ample time. March to June, we have ample time, right? Also this JIB batch, tell your colleagues, tell your friends to join. Use this code. Always never forget this code Y432 in both the batches. You will get 77% off over year, right? Year also and year also. Then 22% off you are getting on all the test series, ebooks, books, basically study material. Okay, 22% off directly. Now this is for 1 or 2 days, means today only, and tomorrow it might change. So avail this discount as fast as possible. Similarly for that 77% discount, right? 77% discount is available on these classes using this code Y432. Never forget this code. This is like the key of the lock. Okay, so never forget this code. So thanks for watching. You join our Adda 24/7 officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Also share on the social media. Share with your friends so that others can also benefit. Okay. So I'll take the leave for today.